attract new customers for your business starting right now. Sponsored by BrickRoadMedia.com, the web's #1 source for small business customer attraction know-how.
Hello everyone, welcome back. Today we're doing an actual Google Hangout. Jack, my wonderful partner, is awesome at these things. Me, on the other hand, just found out about 25 seconds ago that I was supposed to be doing video for this Google Hangout. So I'm a Google Hangout newbie, moving from Blog Talk Radio, moving the show over here to our Hangout thing. So welcome, Jack. Thanks for joining us.
No problem. Glad to be here.
So today we're talking about
movie.
content marketing versus inbound marketing. There's a lot of chat out there in the Google world that I was reading about. A lot of people have different definitions. A lot of misunderstanding, I think, from our perspective, that we'll get into here shortly. But what's your take on this whole topic? Are you seeing the same thing I'm seeing out there, Jack? Lots of differences?
I saw it from the beginning.
Of course you did. Jack, the visionary.
No, Jack, just the old fart. So the guy at HubSpot, do you have his name pulled up? I keep forgetting his name. Shouldn't.
Yeah, I've got
Brian Halla.
Brian Halla something, I don't know.
Yeah.
He's one of those
anyway.
big guys.
Yeah, he's
Halligan, Brian Halligan.
Halligan. Yes, sorry, Brian, we butchered your name, but
Sorry.
You have a multi-million-dollar business, so I know you don't care. But he's the guy who was a co-founder of HubSpot, and they are a company that very much benefited from the beginning of the term inbound marketing with which Brian made up. And ever since then, there's been a raging debate about what's the difference between inbound marketing and content marketing, which I think is just comical because there is no difference. It's just people's different definitions of each. Now, the guy who founded the term inbound marketing gets to have the last word, in a sense, but then the rest of the world, a bunch of agencies, marketing agencies, have polluted the whole thing. They don't even know what they're talking about half the time when it comes to inbound marketing. It's a catchphrase. So it was meant to convey something different than content marketing, but it was done in a context. So Brian has this company that very much sells lots and lots and lots of dollars worth of services, software as a service, so that you can track everything that you do on the web as a business, the content that you put out, and how it gets engaged with, and how it moves people through the buying process, and just all kinds of metrics, all kinds of. It's like Google Analytics for, in one sense, for marketers, and it's also helps you with landing pages and all that kind of stuff. So it's very, very metric-y. It enables you to look through tons of data and figure out which pieces of your content are actually doing the best work, and it helps you design ahead of time what your campaign will look like, so that it goes all the way through to people who bought, people who didn't, and people where engagement was just a whole bunch of different areas between casual and becoming a customer. So then a lot of other people are saying now, and in articles like Jeremy's probably got up on the screen. I can't see my screen anymore for some reason, but I know it's weird. Google's acting weird today, or it changed something and didn't tell me. Like, why wouldn't Google tell me personally?
I'm surprised at that.
Yeah. So, there's all these articles out there. Mainly what agencies that are not HubSpot are trying to do is just capitalize on a keyword. So that's all they're doing. They in the context of where inbound marketing came from, it was from the idea of, we're going to be an agency that's going to help you, and we're going to do your marketing for you. So in order to describe what it is that we do, we're going to tell you we create content, but we create it strategically to move people through a buying process, an engagement, a nice handshake, all the way up to buying the product, and everything in between. And then content that's on the back end to take customers from one level of engagement with you as a customer on your lower end products, say, to the customer who buys that and then buys an upsell or another product from you later. And we'll manage all those metrics. We'll deal with all those metrics. And content is only a part of, in that context, inbound marketing. And that's all fine and good, but it also comes from an echo chamber. If you are only thinking about your role as an agency in serving other businesses with content marketing, then you have to define those things because that's what goes in your proposal to the business. But if you're the business owner, you're going to be doing all the metrics yourself. You're not just going to go, I'm doing content marketing, and make a great piece and then just let it sit there, or put it out on social and just hope for the best. No person who owns their own company, who is doing it themselves or has a marketing team in-house, is going to just stop at that. So for our purposes, for those purposes, there is no difference whatsoever between inbound marketing and content marketing, whatsoever. And I want to make that clear because a lot of our clients and customers at Brick Road Media, they come into our membership site at brickroadmedia.com/cast, and they have questions like this, or they get on our Google Plus community, they have questions about what is the difference between this stuff. And the only reason that we're having this conversation is that it came from a different context. Inbound marketing came from somewhere else, from Brian's context at HubSpot, and HubSpot provides a service that does all of the engagement, all the stuff that people attribute to inbound marketing. It all came from there. And so if anybody who's doing a blog post today on inbound marketing and is trying to define it and doesn't know where it came from and doesn't know what the context was in the beginning, has no clue what they're talking about. Because we don't, if we're not using an agency as a business to do our content and do our engaging and do our metrics and watch everything, follow everything, and design funnels, if we don't have an agency just coming in and doing a piece of that, then we don't have any need for the words inbound marketing. We just call it content marketing. That's what the rest of the world calls it. So the other thing is, the most of the time that you're ever going to see the words inbound marketing is going to be on some kind of a marketing firm or agency's page. You won't see it. Normal people don't use that term. It's an insider, Starbucks drinking, elite kind of thing that you hear at conferences and things like that. For people, I guess people don't feel special putting content marketing on their slides, so they put inbound marketing on there, and they almost say it like that every time they say it. Just kidding, but I want to drive this point home. There is no difference between anybody who's doing their own marketing or an agency who should be doing all of these things, from the content to the analysis to the funnel, the movement of the people, everything. If you have somebody doing something for you, either called inbound marketing or content marketing right now, and they're not running the gamut, the whole thing, then they should be fired. Outright fired today, with no explanation, because they already know they're screwing you over. You don't have to explain to them why you just fired them, because it just means that you just now figured it out. Somebody who's doing a content marketing campaign, or if you want to call it inbound marketing and drink your lattes, then you are designing content from the ground up. And what I do is encourage the people who work for us to do it this way. We start from the end of the conversation, right where the conversation is having. We start from the end of the process, where we start to picture what kind of conversations do we want people around any particular issue, which is the replacement word for keyword. We don't talk about keywords anymore, if you've noticed. The industry just doesn't, but topics and issues and problems and solutions, we talk about that, because that's what people are actually looking for. They're not looking for keywords. So we start with the conversation we want people having about our company on social media, which is the #1 factor for how you get ranked in search now. To the degree that you can engage people through your content, and also the follow-up and the conversations that you have back and forth on social, is how well you will do in search today, period. And that's the end of that story. So you just learned search engine optimization.
Wow, 2014 search engine optimization from Jack. It's obviously gotten simpler, it seems. But with that being said, the biggest feedback I get from a lot of the clients that we have, Jack, are it's the engagement part. They're posting, they're doing this, they're doing that, all the things that we explain to them to do and how to do and this, that, and the other. But getting people in the right circles to engage, to share, to start that conversation can be kind of a difficult thing, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, it's a creativity thing. It used to be, marketing on the web used to be all digits, used to be all digital, used to be all data, used to be all Excel sheets. It was just numbers. You'd figure out how many people search for a keyword, you'd go score for that keyword, and you should expect a percentage of the people that do the searches from that point forward to land on your site if you score well in search. Very, very clinical, very no heart, no soul, no anything involved in that. And I will admit it was easier back in those days in some ways. Today, it's not like that at all. It's all heart and soul. It's all thinking. It's all creativity. And you crunch the data behind the scenes. So the position of being a marketer who is all concerned about just the data, just the algorithms and everything else, that's all swapped out now. Now you just analyze the results of your creativity. And creativity is simply thinking about what you can do to keep the conversation relevant to what your business does, enough that the people that you're engaging with and attracting to the conversations, to your content, are likely candidates to buy your service or your product or whatever. So that's how you target it. If you are, you know, in one of those so-called boring niches, like being in the legal profession or something like, or insurance, you have to come up with ways to engage people kind of as the sponsor of the message, because there's just nothing in insurance you can talk about that's interesting, other than the occasional story of how somebody's house blew down and you guys saved the day, and there's a neat human interest type story in that somehow. That's their insurance provider. Other than that, you've got 364 days left in the year now. You've got to do something other than that, and that's only going to happen once in a blue moon. So you've got to be interesting. But for the people who have things to talk about in their industry, you just focus on it. You focus on the celebrity nature of your industry. If you're in self-help, you talk about Tony Robbins or somebody like that. If you're in marketing, you talk about guys like we just did. We talk about people at HubSpot and things like that. We talk about issues related to the things that we do as a business. We're creating that content right now, right here with me and Jeremy. And you know, and to the degree that we nail it, if this is a concern that we think it is out there among our prospective clients and our current clients, then we will have done a good job. This piece of video then will go out all over the web. It goes to our YouTube channel. I'll post it on my personal blog. We'll post it on the Brick Road Media blog. We'll post it around social, and we'll see what kind of feedback we can get. And we will watch the metrics, and we very much still concerned about data and spreadsheets and analysis and all of that stuff. And we have a very specific reason for doing this show today and all the shows that we do and all the written content that we do. It's not just, hey, we need to talk about a keyword. Let's make that a topic of this thing, and then we'll just go share it on social as if it's detached from any other meaning or any other thing that we're doing. This is very much woven into the fabric of our own content marketing campaign at Brick Road Media. And sometimes we strike out. This could very well end up being one of our lesser watched videos because we misunderstood the signals. But we're watching the signals, and we're trying to react to what's the most top of mind issue for our clients or our customers and prospective customers at any given time. And then we will create content like this, or we'll write about it, or we'll do a combination of video, audio, whatever it is, to specifically designed to engage people. So this particular piece couldn't be very bland. I couldn't just say, well, everybody's right. Because we'd be done. First of all, it would be a 15-minute show. And second of all, it doesn't really get anybody's goat. It doesn't really, you know, and there is actually an opinion here in the room. In this room, there's an opinion about all of this stuff. And to serve your people the very best that you can and get engagement as well, I can't wait till people disagree with me. I can't wait till that happens, because either way, Google sees that I'm engaging people on social for Brick Road Media on our Brick Road YouTube channel or our Brick Road page on Google+, and that's all I care about. Google doesn't care what people are saying, just that we are engaging people. So if everybody hates it, if everybody hates this particular piece and they're just like, nah, you're wrong about inbound marketing, which I would think was very funny anyway, but anyway, then we would have engaged, Google would have seen that engagement, and anytime that anybody connected to us on Google Plus talks about, does a search for inbound marketing, from this day forward, we're going to be in the top 10 of their searches. So that's really cool.
Well, check out the link that I just posted in the chat, because I want to have you weigh on this, see what your thoughts were, because, you know, even though you and I co-founded Brick Road together, doesn't mean that we always agree 100% on things. There's topics that you're a little more up on than I am, and there's topics where I'm a little more up on.
We're supposed to be fighting today. I'm sorry. Okay, it's your turn.
Well, not really. I'm getting my fist. Oh yeah, because of the graphic of the bout, right? With the gloves and we should have put gloves on for this, man, and had that on the video. That'd been cool.
I have hold on.
He's got them.
I have Gary Vaynerchuk's jab right hook wristband. Does that count? There we go.
That's pretty close.
Yeah.
I don't have any jab or anything over here. I've got a hat.
I dropped the name, another name. We can use that in the tags and everything else in our content here. And Gary Vaynerchuk's gonna have to come and see what the heck we were talking about him for.
Good old
hi, Gary.
All right, so check out that link. The second one I posted. The first one's for the entire article, but I've got it on the screen share here. I read through several different different things because I hate to not ever be completely up to snuff on what's going on, especially when we're doing a show on it. So I found this little illustration, this little infograph and it's football related. So being a football lover myself, it caught my eye. But after digging into it, it kind of made a lot more sense because I'm one of the ones probably very similar to a lot of the people on this call that have always heard that coin phrase from HubSpot and read tons of their content. And the inbound marketing is I had thought was kind of the overall picture of things. When come to find out, reading up and educating myself on this part right now, the content marketing piece is the pretty much the entire football field. And the part that I really was struck by this was that a lot of companies, I think, stop at that 50-yard line, like it's showing there with the customers.
Right where it says customers.
Yeah, that's done. You got them. Boom. There's no more. What else do you have to do?
Yeah, it stops there, and the definition of inbound marketing starts at number 4 at the 45. No. That's not
according
true.
to this, he says it's at 35. So that's what I want to do is give you the opportunity to argue this point with this guy that posted this, which is Content Marketing Institute. It's Joe Paluzzi. I'm sure I'm butchering the crap out of his name, but sorry, Joe, if you're going to get linked to this. So sorry for messing your name up. But what he's it makes a lot of sense to me. To the 35-yard line there is where he's stopping, and that's the leads, opportunities, sales. Once you've gotten your funnel to that point of converting a sale into a customer, actually he's kind of referencing it being even before that, turn the opportunity into a sale. That's inbound marketing, completely done. And now it does kind of make sense. You can see what they're doing now, though. You can see what they're doing. So the content marketing evangelist, and that would definitely be Joe here. He's on my team actually. Yeah. Maybe that's what we need to have Joe or Jack is about between Joe and Brian.
Well, it's just I don't know. I think this is all friendly. First of all, it doesn't matter to anybody else in the world except for, and the reason that I'm most interested in doing this in the first place are prospective and current clients who are getting confused out there. Just because these guys are out there confusing these two things, and nobody really remembers that inbound marketing came from HubSpot, which was to serve mainly them and the way that they are positioned in the market and what they do and the products that they sell. So, it's already been for years, since 2005, blown completely out of context, and now a lot of people actually think that inbound marketing is the whole 100 yards, and it can be. I think the definition of inbound marketing should go past the 50-yard line as well, but it's really the way this guy's got this graphic set up is what my team would put out there. Content marketing is for the people. Content marketing is for people who either do it themselves or have a small shop, a small business that has marketing people in it, but it's not a Fortune 1000 or Fortune 500 that HubSpot would go after, and big marketing agencies. Almost exclusively the people who exclusively use the words inbound marketing. You won't find that on a normal person's blog, on a regular person's blog that teaches other regular people in regular small businesses how to do marketing online with pull versus push marketing. The pull marketing is almost always exclusively described as content marketing.
Well, the thing I'm just kind of digging on this is the fact that a lot of people's perspective would have been like mine back in the day, where inbound marketing is the 10,000-foot view and content marketing was a piece of.
Right.
When it's actually completely the difference. If you think about like an airplane landing, that's, it's inbound, and as soon as it touches down, boom, it's done, it's landed, right?
Yep.
Well, that's kind of what inbound marketing really is, and represented nicely on the football field here is that's just the first piece. That's just getting them to the point of becoming a sale or a customer. But then you've got the satisfaction, the retention, the upsell, the continual engagement that you have to have with them to get repeat. Right? We always tell our clients that the cheapest way of getting in front of a customer for a new sale is the current customers that you have.
Mm-hmm.
You don't want to spend every marketing dollar you have remarketing to brand new people all the time. So I like the fact that this is done in this fact, because I think this is where a lot of companies miss this boat big time. They're pretty passive with the way that, hey, I've got a customer, thanks a lot, we put all the marketing dollars into getting you, and now good luck through the customer service train that we have here. But they're not continually upselling and marketing to them. Matter of fact, what do you think the poll would be, Jack, if we just took 100 random businesses that would come in off of our free strategy session link? How many of them do you think currently have a database of current customers, number one? Furthermore, have some type of email marketing plan set up and attached to that database of current or past clients and are currently marketing and engaging them with their current content?
That are currently doing those things?
Yeah, that are currently doing it.
No.
Not even right. I'm just saying attempting it, not even succeeding or doing it right.
No, most of the time, the first thing that we find in those cases with a new client when we're doing an intake with them is that they aren't doing anything at all. I mean, that's the vast majority of time. I'm like, what are you guys doing with your customers? What do you mean? We already sold to them. It's basically
so one takeaway.
It's like we already, and we hope they come back. What do you mean hope?
Right.
There's no hope in marketing.
So in one takeaway that people could take out right now is, jot one takeaway down, is if you don't have a post-sale content marketing strategy, you need to start working on one.
Right.
That could be a really good show right there, cutting this thing up a little bit, because satisfaction, retention, upselling, and taking them to the evangelist stage, that's
most companies would sit in a boardroom and they would, or you know, whatever kind of room you meet in at your agency or whatever, you know, they would agree with a guy standing up there going, you know, if you worked so hard on getting those customers, you spent money, you spent time, you paid people to do the content and all the stuff to get them, you spent a lot of time and resources to get them to the customer stage. And so surely, and nobody in this room is going to disagree, once they realize that they're making a mistake, they're just going to make a mental note to go back to their desk and make sure that they're working on this and come up with a campaign, like quick, like tomorrow, like a funnel system just for current customers. And so, and it's not like everybody's completely ignoring that. They'll do certain aspects of it by gut instinct, but there won't be any design to it. There won't be an overall, here is our overall strategy for an ongoing strategy for you know, upselling customers.
Well, I think the key
business.
I don't want to use this word, but the key word I do that just to make you mad.
Oh,
is here's the definition that Joe puts in here that I really like. Content marketing is the practice of creating relevant and compelling content in a consistent fashion to a targeted buyer. I think you're right. A lot of companies will have kind of a clue, kind of a little bit of that post-sale or even pre-sale, but the biggest problem is there's not a plan. You hear me talk about that all the time when we do these intakes, when we do the strategy sessions. Everybody always wants to start with creative ideas. Well, what if we did this promotion of doing this? Well, what if we did? The biggest problem that all these companies I find really get into is the fact that they never did have a plan, and they're willing to repeat the same problem with not having a plan this time, which, you know me, I don't let them get to that point. We always have a plan, but then the biggest part of that plan is the consistency fashion for every reason that you have to be consistent with it. If you're going to do Facebook ads today and then not do them, you know, next week, and then you're going to fire them back up again, and then in the meantime you're going to try to do all this organic posting on Twitter. I mean, it's woo.
Let's go back to the beginning, because it's way bigger than that. I mean, before you get embroiled in the whether or nots and how should we's and what about the next thing, Facebook and Twitter and all that, you need to know where you're going. And a lot of businesses, almost every business we ever come in contact with, has never ever done a why analysis of everything that they do. Like, why are you guys in business? The first answer that you typically get 99% of the time is to make money. And that's kind of the wrong answer. That's the kind of answer that a business that's going to be out of business in a couple of years would give you. Everybody is obviously in business to make money. Come on. I mean, that's like saying you're on this planet to breathe. Yeah, I mean, if you're going to stay on this planet, you're going to need to keep breathing. So, duh.
Yeah.
But you need the why. Why are you in business? What is it you're trying to do with people's lives? And even if you think about your business the way I'm about to say, then you've got a huge problem on your hands right from the very get-go. I'm just here to make money, and what am I doing for people's lives? I'm selling insurance, or I'm whatever. It's like, okay, and then we have to leave it to, us, prospective customers, have to bridge the gap there. We have to go, oh, so you can protect us from financial ruin, right? Yeah, that's why I'm in business. It's amazing to me how many people in business have that sort of a blasé attitude toward the stuff that we're talking about, because the stuff that we're talking about is the very core and essence of either a successful business or it's completely out of your purview and you're not thinking about it at all, and that's a prescription for a non-successful business. Somebody that's going to be struggling all the time, spending money because they don't have a plan, a big why. They haven't planned out anything, so they don't know where to go spend money when it's time to spend money. And it's time to spend money when you don't have any other way to bring people to your table, to bring prospective customers to you. So the guys who spend the most money are the guys that have the least amount of a plan. And when they start to get a plan, they start getting really confused, because we'll say to them, well, what's your Facebook, Google+, LinkedIn, Twitter situation looking like? Do you have your YouTube channel set up? Immediately, right there, people start to tense up. And I would encourage everybody listening to this, if you're in that situation, when someone comes to you, and hopefully it'll be us, but whoever, and says, what's your situation, how are you set up in those, don't tense up. Just go, that's all part, we've got some of it set up over here, we've got this set up over here, we don't really do anything on Twitter, and if they're really good, they won't fault you for that. You've probably already figured out whether or not Twitter is good enough for you guys to spend your time on or not in your business, based on the kind of reaction you either do or do not get on Twitter, and a lot of people don't. The main big ones in the room are YouTube, Facebook, and Google+. You need Google+ because they're owned by the search engine of the web, the search engine of the web. There's no other search engine on the web that's anywhere remotely close to
well, we have
Google.
Yahoo. I mean, there is Yahoo.
Yahoo uses Bing's technology, and Bing is the other search engine, and they have no real serious market share like Google does. They're not a verb. Nobody in the world says go Bing it. There's no go Bing it. There's go Google it, but there's no Bing it. So, I mean, you guys can't split your focus so much. Okay, you'll end up in Bing, however they run their search engine. Nobody knows how to optimize for it or do anything for it anyway, except for if you're a local business. Go get listed there. Sign up for their webmaster tools, actionable items for the day. Do what they have available to you, but when it comes to algorithms and how things can be ranked and how Google has basically told us what they want. They've told us how they want us to rank, or they want us to produce content and engage people, and don't listen to them. I don't want to hear you guys talk about SEO all the time and all this stuff that Google is always just saying. Serve your people, have a plan, have a big overall plan, a big overarching plan, and all these other things are just details. They may seem confusing to you. You don't have to know everything about them. All the social media stuff, the email list building, all that kind of stuff, that might blow your mind a little bit, but so does it with me when I go to the doctor and he starts talking about my heart. I don't know anything about that, but I also don't just tense up and pass out. And a lot of businesses will just, they're making the big mistake of running away from this stuff. They're calling it their internet problem, and they just don't want to face it. They want to put their heads in the ground, and I'm saying embrace it, and embrace the idea that you don't know everything, but go looking for people that seem like they know what they're talking about, and just follow this around. And for those of you who got on today, the reason that we started this whole thing with the inbound marketing and content marketing is that when you guys go out and look, there's some confusion in the market. This is a big one, inbound versus content marketing. If there's even a versus, because they're both identical if they're both defined properly.
Yeah, we just like to put the little boxing ring in there, so it had to become a versus.
Yeah, well, I mean, a lot of people think there is a difference, so there is a versus until you find out there isn't, and then you're like, oh, okay, so what do we do now? So maybe we ought to talk about what do we do now.
Yeah, that's exactly where I was heading with that.
I just come on here and take over your show, man.
No, no, man, that's great. It's kind of nice. I know when I have you on the show that it's less work that I've got to do for the week in research. So you and I can just get on like we typically do during the week and just, hey, Jack, here's what came up. What do you want? And then boom, hour and 15, hour and 20 later, we're being beeped by everything that we have to get off and get to the next thing. So yeah, what we've got people in listening to this. They're obviously convinced now that the content marketing is the way to go. So we kind of hinted on the plan part. I've got a really cool template that I use that I can share with everybody. Just send me a quick message either on Facebook or Google Plus, and tell me you want the template, and I'll send it to you. It's a great place to start. It's what I use, one of the tools that I use with clients in this free strategy sessions to develop a plan. You know, the plan's got to be first. So after the plan, let's just say hypothetically, people are there in their situation right now. They're going to get this template and get a plan. What else would they do, Jack? What would you suggest right out of the gate developing this content plan? What would they do?
Just go easy on yourself and just realize you already have the channels open. Most everybody listening or watching this is already got their their fan page set up for their business on Facebook. They've already you should have, and you should just go ahead and nod right now so you don't look silly in 2014, halfway through 2014, and just say, agree with me, you have your Google Plus business page set up, right? And you're engaging people on Google Plus. Well, everybody's over at Facebook. That's all fine and good, but most of the content that's on Facebook cannot be seen by Google, so Google can't rank 90% of the stuff that's shared on Facebook. Like they can 100% of the stuff that's shared on Google Plus. Get it? Because they own it, and they you know. So everybody's doing that. So everybody's got the channels open. Now just start playing. The very first thing is just to get a cause and effect of your own. Say, I want to put something funny and relevant. I'm in insurance, so I'm going to put something out about insurance, like a joke or preferably with a cat on it. Because that seems to somehow get. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, what is up with all the cat
I
shares?
don't know. Us dog people need to really fight back, and we
Really?
are. We're putting up a good fight, but
You're
cats are
working on it.
tough. So just go get some engagement. Just your business can't be out there being like one of the guys. It's kind of uncomfortable when a business walks into a room and starts acting like one of the dudes. Hey, how you doing? How's it going? It's like, we all know you're a business. We all know that your name is not Jeremy Keene. It says right there, you're Brick Road Media. So stop trying to act cool. Stop trying to, just do neat things. Don't be so aware of yourself, and don't be so hyper attentive to making mistakes. Like, people are always thinking they're going to make mistakes. Go out there and get somebody to react to something that you put up, something that you share, a blog post that you make on your site. Think about it backwards, and the best way to do it is just think about what you want people to be saying about your company or about that particular piece of content, then go create that piece of content. If you can picture people having those discussions based on you're attentive enough that you're seeing what's going on around you on social media, you see what's working for other companies and other individuals who are branding themselves as the brand, then you can go and make a piece of content like that as well that relates to your industry and is just interesting.
Well, I think, wouldn't you agree too? I always talk to people about coming up with a few things. Don't try to overwhelm yourself, but come up with a few things that are problem solvers. Take a poll of some of the clients that you've had, and what are some of the issues that you would typically come up with, if you asked all your clients, and then start writing really cool, awesome content that solves that problem for them, fixes something that they're having an issue with, and do it just to do it. Do it to help them out. I think a lot of people go into that, I always call it that give to get, but, they go into it with the idea that they have to make money. Let's post something right now that gets them clicking to a link that gets them to buy something or set something up. And that has proven to not be successful. You really have to be willing to devise content that people are it's going to hit home with them. It's going to fix a problem. It's going to help them out. And you need to be doing it because you care, because you want to, not because there's a dollar sign attached to it. Dollar signs will follow. Everybody knows, like you said earlier, everybody knows you're in business. Everybody knows you're there to make money. But people don't like to be sold. They like to be helped. And so if you can put together content that keeps them in the loop, keeps them informed, keeps them up to date with things they need to have that they don't necessarily have the time to do themselves because they're not in your industry, but they are somehow tied to it, like insurance. It is kind of important at this point, like to know about Obamacare, even though it was kind of the that was a really cool thing for insurance companies to have because they always struggle with cool content. But there was a lot of cool jokes that were going around with insurance companies for content for them. But those days are over, so they're back to the grind now. But you do need to be informed with Obamacare if you're in business, especially. So insurance companies are able to keep you in loop for that because the last thing I want to do, you and I had that conversation for Brickrow, is like, what is this stuff? What are we doing? But, it was nice that we had Van Vliet and a couple other insurance clients that keep us in the loop with that, so we don't have to ourselves.
Yeah. Well, and there's a million ways to go about this. Some people, there was a neat little promotion that went on. I think Trish, our WordPress guru-s, found something on Facebook, and it was really cool. It was just a liquor store, but the liquor store bought its own Powerball ticket and put it up on Facebook and said, we're going to share this with every single person that likes and shares this post. So if we win, which, come on, but if we win, and it was huge, and it was like, it's definitely the only liquor store that I've ever seen that had 17,000 followers on Facebook.
Yeah, in Illinois, of all places. I don't even know that it was
They just had a creative moment. Now, that thing could be capitalized on, and they probably are recognizing how they won. They're recognizing definitely that they won with that campaign, but they might not know exactly how they won. And if you guys are listening in Illinois or anywhere else, the reason that they won is that they came up with something. Everybody buys lottery tickets at the liquor store. Everybody also knows that a liquor store probably sells liquor. You probably got a special going on. Who cares? So you got stuff going on that is like a typical business, and nobody really cares. I mean, I also know that if you're an insurance agency, you sell insurance. I don't care. Right now, I'm not in the market for it, but I might be if you gave an article out saying, did you know that people are really super underinsured about this, and the odds of this happening, maybe that might, that's even still a little too close to home for me. So the liquor store, everybody knows, and you go buy your lottery tickets there, and while you're there, you buy other stuff that they're selling. You obviously know what that is. So don't use, here's a don't use social media to tell anybody about predominantly. If I go through your social media and I'm seeing your timeline special this Thursday on this, and now it's next Thursday, and the next post that you had was the other special that you run, and it's a special you run every Thursday, you're doing it wrong. Don't do that. Do something interesting. Do something cool. If you want to come up with a blog post, go type, and you're in the insurance industry. We'll just pick on them all day. You're in the insurance industry, and you want to come up with ideas. Well, somebody else has already heard about this content marketing thing, this inbound marketing thing, and when it comes to content, somebody out there has hit a home run. So just go to Google and type in top ways, and then the blank will be filled in by 7 or 6 or 5 or 10, top 10 ways, top 7 ways, top whatever. Just don't pigeonhole it by putting a number in there. Just do top ways to, and then put the word insurance and put insurance in quotes, saying that Google's going to go out and find the top ways to any kind of content that would satisfy that, and it's going to bring up when it specifically pertains to insurance. What you'll pull up is a search result of tons of articles that people have done on the top 5 ways to save money on insurance, the top 6 ways to make sure you're covered on flood insurance, the top whatever is out there that anybody's ever done. List posts is what that's called. Top 10 posts or whatever. Those are very, very popular. So you don't have to be creative. You just have to understand what creativity is, and then go after people who are creative and find out what they've done. Then what do? You don't take that article and steal it and put it on your site. You get ideas from it. You're like, oh, that was really good. Well, I could do one. Something that's hitting in the news is this type of insurance or this type of problem that leads to people needing us for insurance. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to do the top 5 whatever, and I usually start posts with top something ways to do whatever I'm actually after. And then I'll write it, and I'll go, how many is that? 7. Okay, 7. Top. And then I go back and change the title. I put publish. I go out to social media. I get everybody excited about it, and there you go. And then we watch the metrics. We're not just, using an agency that only does content. When this happens, you look at your metrics on Facebook. You look at, they're called insights. You can put Google Analytics on your page at Google+. So our Brick Road Media page on Google Plus, right when we log in as Brick Road Media, we have all of our stats: how many people have come to the page, engaged with the page, plussed it, all that kind of stuff. How many people have followed us or circled us in the last since the last time we checked. And we watch all of that. Then we go to Google Analytics and we watch to see how our content marketing is actually doing. And
let me give you a cool thing. Let me ask you something, Jack. Have you heard about the Great American Ballpark strikeouts for La Rosa's Pizza? Have you heard of that? So check this out. I'm going to tie this to content because it's really cool. I'm sitting at the Reds game yesterday, and they're just up on the billboard or up on the jumbotron. I was talking about this thing because Cueto had a really good game. He ended up getting up to 8, 9 strikeouts or whatever, and everybody starts buzzing about this free pizza thing. And I'm like, what in the world are they talking about? Still didn't really understand. It was just free pizza because he did get to the 11th strikeout, and that's the deal. So during the season, any of the Reds pitchers combine for 11 strikeouts in a game. During the full 9 innings, blah, 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 you get a free 1-topping small pizza from La Rosa's, okay? All you need is your ticket, right? So as I'm sitting there with my marketing mind thinking of how brilliant this really was, whoever came up with this, today I get real excited about the idea of something completely different that came up, but it related to this. And so I go there on Google and I type in this, like you were talking about, the first pieces, and boom, here comes like 3 pages of blog posts, news articles, everything you can imagine from every news place in the world in Cincinnati. It's all talking about this strikeouts for La Rosa's thing, right? So I'm sitting there putting this all together going, look at the amount of content that was done just on this thing right there for giving away a small pizza, what could possibly a 1-topping small pizza cost these people, right? Yeah. Now there's 20,000 people at the game, but realistically, Jeremy from Richmond is not taking my ticket down to Cincinnati to a participating La Rosa's Pizzeria and guessing which one's participating to go get a small pizza. So I got to figure there's several thousands that aren't even going to remotely take advantage of this. So how much money are they really, really putting out to get in front of 20-some thousand people a night? And in all these different news outlets, all the different blog posts that were done on the Red site, which got God knows how many thousands of hits. And then when you start thinking about just the different joint venture opportunities that all tie around, linking back and forth the content, it was just kind of like, wow, that was really cool.
The interesting thing about content marketing that everybody starts with I've got to get this down because I'm running the content marketing campaign for my company, or I'm in charge of this in some way. And it's all me. Well, the thing is, when you're using leverage and content marketing, the way that La Rosa's just did, then you understand that you don't even have to create the content. You have to. Somebody came up with a representatives from Reds or the baseball league or whatever came in and said, "Hey, we'd like you guys to be a sponsor in some way." And so one of the 2 parties came up with the idea for the strikeouts thing. And then it created enough buzz that everybody else is writing content. Well, that's your content. If you're La Rosa's, that's my entire. If I'm the content marketing manager of La Rosa's, I'm claiming all of that. Especially with my idea.
Links back to them anyway.
Yeah.
Every bit of those. I would look through 4 or 5 of those blog posts. Every one of them had links to the actual La Rosa's Pizza site. There was links to blog posts that were written just about this that were on the site. I mean, it was literally just a little snapshot at content marketing and joint venture and promotion at its finest. And you know how you and I talk all the time, and we continue to bring these 2 pieces together. It's not digital marketing against or with or separated from an overall marketing strategy with traditional. It's all about merging those 2 together. So you look at this as a perfect example of how to take some digital marketing and content marketing that we're talking about, and then putting it into the traditional space with the newspapers and the print ads and the billboards and it's a perfect example of how you can bridge all of that, but then use the internet and leverage the living crap out of it to the point where it's unbelievable what kind of exposure they've gotten for that.
Yeah. Well, I think some of the things that we cover in Cast, content marketing is one of the first things that we talk about because it's the easiest to get your mind around. On a personal level, here's what I got to do. I'm the one who is here for the company that, I work for, to learn how to do this stuff on our blog, to learn how to do this stuff on social media, and to also learn how to analyze the results. And so we came up with very simple. There's a lot of things that go with it, but it's traffic conversion and analytics. And that's it. That's really it.
Yep.
It's traffic, conversion, and analytics. How do you get traffic? Content marketing is a part of that. How do you convert them? Content marketing is actually a part of that, and the analytics is the part where you see how you did. At the end of the day, how did you do? And what might we do next? Based on the response that we got during this whole campaign on this one piece, we might want to push that button a bunch more times. And the stuff that people seem to be ignoring, we might want to just get rid of that. The only way you can make those decisions and really make them with confidence is to know your analytics, to really be watching what people are doing, how they're reacting on social, on your website, and everywhere else that you can possibly get intel. So
really, in a nutshell, it's come up with a plan, consistently post different types of content that you've come up with, and then see which bites, see what doesn't, and do more of the stuff that bites.
Mm-hmm. And when you're out there and you're doing social media, we all do. Don't try to lie. You're all out there doing it. On a personal level, you will see a lot of things that come across. But if you're in the context in your mind, I'm just on Facebook to see what Grandma's doing, you might miss it. And I'm encouraging everybody to go, okay, if you see somebody spreading something around that looks like it's a business that did it, pay attention to it. Have your marketing hat on at all times when you're on Facebook, you're on one of the social media sites, and you see something like that, and go figure it out. Don't just go, haha, that's a funny video, or that's a really insightful article, or whatever. Go figure out where it originated and how it got in front of you. You'll learn so much by backtracking the success of that article or that picture or whatever piece of content reaching your eyes and ears. If you backtrack the success of it getting to you, you are going to find out at the end of that is a brilliant content marketer with a great idea for how it ended up right in front of you. So don't just go and don't be a consumer. When you're a business owner, you can't afford to just go through life thinking only like a consumer. You have to always be looking for cues that other people, I'd say a good 95% of what I teach people, I learn from watching other people. I learn from, and that's true for most people, but it's important to know that we don't make this stuff up. We all, and the people who are doing this, who are considered HubSpots and the people like that who are considered thought leaders, authorities in this, they don't know they're going to hit a home run until they do, just like in baseball. You really don't know until some guys are good enough to know right when that ball comes in and it hits the bat, that's out of here. And they can
just
tell.
Just like I tell my youngsters that are on my baseball team, though, if you don't get the at-bats, you don't do the practice, and you don't swing when you're up, your chances of hitting that home run are getting pretty slim. So in the same reference, businesses who post once a month with no plan, just spur of the moment, threw it out there, it's going to be real hard to get that home run that you're looking for when it comes to the engagement that it's going to take to actually get business off of the web. It's got to be part of that plan.
I think the funniest thing, and this occurs to me all the time now, is that businesses traditionally, and a lot of our businesses are owned by people who remember that world more than they are new people and the new people, the kids, the new generation coming up, they don't even. We're all playing on the internet, but there is a definite difference between the way that we play on the internet. The way old school businesses do it, they really feel as detached on the internet as they did when they were running yellow book ads and billboard ads. And you're so far removed from the people who are consuming that content that it's just give the guy some money from the billboard company and here's what we want on it and go put it up, and that's as close as you got to prospective customers.
That's my favorite question in those intake is, you're doing a billboard ad? Great. How many clients did you get off that billboard in the last 6 months? Crickets.
Yeah.
No clue. How many? Oh, with the sound effect of boot. Awesome, dude. How'd that newspaper ad go? How long did you run it? How many clients did you convert from that? Do it again.
Yeah.
You missed. There you go. Oh, I thought you had a little button you push. Was that actually your
That's
mouth?
me, man. That's live. You got to know how to do a cricket.
Wow.
In our business,
Well,
there's a lot of ways to use that to get people to understand there's a problem.
Well, you had that little panel of little throw-ins that you always throw in our Brick Road media or our Brick Road meetings. You always have that little.
My buttons. I used to have easy buttons and BS buttons.
Yeah, I thought you had a cricket button. I see.
No, I think it's really interesting. The point is that you are right in people's laps. on the internet, and that's the biggest thing with business. When you see a business come in and say we're having a sale on pizza, they're doing the same thing they did when they bought a billboard or an ad in the paper. They have no concept of the idea that your message, if I'm following you, just made my phone buzz or beep or something. I'm taking it out of my pocket just to look at your message. You were just in my pocket. That's also where I keep my money to buy your stuff. So
well, it originated back from.
And then I look, and I'm going to be really, really mad. I'm going to be really, really mad if this is a coupon. If this is, you know, it better be something good, because I had to also get that big smartphone I thought would fit in my pocket that doesn't, but I'm in a 2-year contract, so now I got to live with it. And
I've got one of those.
And you're talking to me like a billboard. You're talking to me like a whatever, and that's why you're failing. That's why I'm not taking also the money that's in that pocket that I just was in and spending it at your business. You're dealing with real people, and you're going straight to the source. The people who have asked you, they're not asking you into their living rooms by turning on the TV and accepting that they have to watch commercials during their favorite show. It's way more intimate than that. They're asking you into the most important device in their, I wish it had, yeah. Here, device. This is the most important device in this century. This is hugely, hugely important to everybody. They'll forget the keys to their car walking out of the house before they'll forget this phone. And so if you have that kind of access, if you can picture all these different people, 100 different people in your community right now picking up these phones because you just did a text message that to everybody that says, I've got this great article that's going to help you out and blah, blah, blah. Essentially, it comes out like that. Or we're having a sale on pizza. Picture that. The next time you or anybody in your staff does that, the reaction that would create, and then never do it again. Ever, ever, ever do it again. It's not to say that you can't say that, but you have to earn it. You got to get me 95% of the time or more with really, really good, interesting stuff. If I'm going to continue to follow you, if I'm going to continue to engage with you, and then that other 5% of the time, you're more than welcome to float me a 10% off coupon. You've earned it at that point, but you have to earn it. And in social media, you're getting very, very personal, and you're right in people's pockets. You're right top of mind with people. So I think that's probably the biggest one. If you guys are going to start content marketing, it's a big elephant. You got to eat it at a bite at a time. And I think if you just start with those concepts, you're going to do really, really well. And you're going to get it. You're going to start to see more lights are going to turn on. Ooh, if I do this, then this happens. That's really cool. It can get quite addictive. Success usually does. And you guys can knock this stuff out of the park, starting with just taking it easy. Don't freak out. You don't have to be on every social channel. You don't have to consider right this minute whether you should be doing video or not. You don't have to consider right this minute whether you should have a blog or not. You should. And the video thing, you should. But you do need to be out there on social. It's easy to set up accounts. Go back and see if your fan page is in any kind of shape since 2007 or whenever you used it last. Make sure you're signed up at Google+. Start following people like Brick Road Media so that you can get these really cool pieces of content we send out that you can take action on right away on how to knock them dead on Google+ and show up and search for any keyword that you want. How would that be? You know, and we do that for free. We don't sell any of those services. So we give all of that information away so that you love us enough that when we do sell our services, we're the top of the mind. We're the ones that you want to work with. So if you ever wanted to go, and if you have to spend money on social training or SEO or whatever, we have a nice little membership site called Cast that you can do that on. It's only $30 a month. And well, Jeremy, I guess I'm getting into your commercial time. Do you want to run? Oh, you can't do that. We're on Google Hangouts. Sorry.
Hey, we're gonna find. Maybe we should develop this plugin for Google Hangouts.
It already exists. I got to tell you about it. I just hadn't had time.
Gosh.
I know.
Dang, I sat there and searched Google for that.
Oh, it's insider stuff. You wouldn't find it.
Yeah, you got to be on the VIP list
if
of the
you tell
Google.
anybody else, we have to kill you. So.
Oh well, I wouldn't do that.
Everybody in Cast though will find out what this plugin is that we speak of. We share everything with you guys.
What do you think, Jack? Should we throw out another little thing for the free strategy sessions that we decided to start running for businesses? You think we ought to offer that to people on the show today?
Yes.
Well, I just posted a link over here in the chat. But if you don't get it for some reason, since I'm still kind of a newbie to this Hangout world, it's brickroadmedia.com/free-strategy-session. It is free. There's no hook. There's nothing attached to it. There's no pitch. There's no nothing. It's just Jack or I willing to sit down for an hour on the phone and listen to what you're doing what's working, what's not, and help you write the plan, help you strategize a content marketing plan, a funnel, whatever your business's needs are. That's what we'll be able to identify during that hour and help you at least get on the right path. So, since you're an avid listener, starting at least today, you can take advantage of that by clicking that button. You'll schedule your time right there on the link at the same time. So,
I'm putting it on the Google Hangouts page that you guys are probably listening this on right now, or you're doing the recording.
You're gonna have to give me a tutorial on all this using these Google Hangouts. I'd finally mastered the Blog Talk Radio thing, and then we're now convinced me to go to the Hangouts, and you got plugins you haven't shared with me. You've got places to type in these messages. I don't know.
Go away. You'll run away.
Oh yeah. You and your wristband over there.
Yeah.
Go ahead and that little.
Okay, so the link for this free strategy session is up on the event page. And when we refer to anything ever, and we have a link up somewhere, if we're doing a Hangout, it's going to be on our Google Plus Brick Road Media events page that was given to you when you registered. And so if Jeremy's on Blog Talk Radio and he says he puts it up somewhere, he's probably putting it up right under that show, right where you are. So any resources that we share during these shows, wherever we do them, I think we're primarily going to start doing them on Hangouts once we see how cool they are. Then
when I get my plug-in, man, I'm going to convert completely when I get my plug-in.
Yeah, and your cool green screen background. These aren't really drums behind me. It's just totally a green screen. Just kidding. That really is my background.
I swear that looks like the back of your office.
Looks realistic, doesn't it? Yeah. So, So check out the strategy sessions for sure, because we're just completely about service. Our business model is service first, and the money comes after that. Only after really good service. So we live that. And ever since I changed my personal business model for everything that I do online to that, business has never been better. So when you're a content marketer, you'll find the same thing. Serve first, give them the very best of anything, your creativity, a long ultimate guide to something post, 7 steps to something blog post, or whatever it is you share out there, whatever it is you do out there, do it big and do it as if somebody's already paid you $20,000 to do it. That's the way we carry ourselves with Brick Road Media. That's how we do it, and that's why we have so many awesome clients. There are bad clients, and we work really hard not to attract them by being as cool and very specific as possible about the people that we like to work with. And the way that we do our training seems to reach the kind of people we love to work with. So if you guys think that's cool and you want to take it further, go to brickroadmedia.com/free-strategy-session, or just go to the event page, or just look right down here if you're on the event page at Google+, and you can click on the link there. It's totally free, and it's going to be awesome quality content for you guys, specifically on your business, things you can run away with right that day without doing anything else with Brick Road Media and take advantage of with your business. Just promise us that you'll come back and say you guys are so awesome, and do it on social media and tell everybody that Brick Road Media told me these 3 things and it blew our business up on social or wherever. If you can agree to do that, then all the strategy sessions will remain free. How's that?
Yay! Well, here, since I don't have the plug-in, Jack, I'm going to be nice and thank you for being on the show today, and you will be back many, many more times as your schedule prevails. But until I get the plug-in, you get to listen to the closing of this, the hard way. I better get this plug-in next time.
Then follow Brick Road Media on Facebook to stay current on all the latest customer attraction web marketing tactics. Just visit facebook.com/brickroadmedia and you'll be in the loop.
All right, till we meet again.
You'll be in the loop.
You'll be in the loop later.
All right.